Ladies and gentlemen, my name is TotalBiscuit, and I am Lord of the Arena. I've been on a little bit of a break. I'm gonna try it again. The Paladin deck was doing reasonably well last time. Let's see if we can continue with the Fortune. It's got a lot of 4s in it, which is a little weird, I gotta say. But we do have, like, 4 Consecrates, so that's okay. No True Silver Champions, but hey. We can certainly afford to throw Consecrates away liberally. This pretty much crushes anything which is overly reliant on a lot of weaker creatures. Alright, a druid. Let's begin, shall we? See what we got. And we're going first, and we got absolutely balls all to play with. So I'm going to toss both of these, keep the other rank Farseer, that's a turn 3 play. And, right, so nothing then. Okay, fair enough. So we'll take some damage early on, but that's okay. We have another ring Farseer to try and fix that up. I'm having, I wouldn't say a new love affair with the other ring Farseer, it's more a case of people better than me told me it was better than I thought it was. So I'm gonna stick with them. Hey, a Light's Justice, why not? I'm gonna keep a hold of that. I might as well play it. Why not? I'd rather he not ooze it, but I don't know, it's a Light's Justice. Most people don't even bother oozing that because it doesn't really do much. Okay, he's not going to do anything. Ugh, I don't like that. I've got a couple of other options that I prefer to use in this scenario. I should really calm down. You know, since he didn't play a turn 1 minion, I'm going to whack him with that. Because why not? It's got 4 charges that only does 1 damage, so it's not like I'm burning too much. And might as well do a little damage while I can. Here's the Shapeshift coming out, which will take out the 1/1, and then that'll be that. And irritatingly enough, the Farseer... This is why I don't like minions that restore health, because you don't know if you can use that battle cry, meaning there's a 3/3 for 3, which is not a very good value card. But I'm gonna do it anyway. What choice do I have? Might as well whack him with the Light's Justice again. There we go. I'm not gonna go through another turn without playing a minion. At least I have my Argent Protector as an option for next turn, so that's okay. Consecrate is also an option, Hammer of Wrath also an option, so at least I've got to turn 4, and I haven't taken any damage, and everything's fine. But he does have a lot of cards, and he is also a druid, so we should watch out for turn 8 in particular. Gnomish Inventor? Alright then. So we can bop it and Hammer of Wrath. That's probably a decent enough thing to do. I don't see why not. We have 3 Hammers of Wrath, so it gets me a card. I bop it with the hammer. There we go. And then we go in for the 3 damage. Twilight Drake. Alright, so that would play as, what, that's a 4/5 or a 4/6 next turn. It's a... I think it would be a 4/6, because it includes the Twilight Drake, so that's okay. Ironfur Grizzly comes out. That's actually pretty cool. We might go for the Argent Protector instead here. Twilight Drake is not too bad in this situation for obvious reasons, but I can kill that off straight up. So I'm going to go with that. There we go. So that gets rid of that. Now, do I want to play the Bloodfen Raptor and make the Twilight Drake weaker? It's basically... Well, even then, it's basically a Yeti, right? So that's still not too bad. Will it be a... I can't remember if it ends up being a 4/4 or a 4/5. Do I want to play the Raptor? Yeah, there's not actually a huge amount of risk. Starfall is a possibility, but that's really about it. Might as well play the Raptor. Keep 1 charge of this just in case I need it. Twilight Drake. Hold on to that Spellbreaker. It's a Druid deck, I'll probably need it. I'll make sure that any Ancient of Wars get screwed over pretty badly. Gurubashi Berserker comes out. It's pretty ugly. Alright, Guardian of Kings. Again, not too helpful here. Healing minions. Not so great when you haven't taken any damage. Okay, what's the best way of handling that? So, Gurubashi Berserker can be a bit of a pain in the arse. We could Spellbreak it, but it's a Druid deck, I really shouldn't. Other possibilities, I can trade 2 creatures for it. Using the Defender of Argus to buff up these 2. Which is not so great. Alternatively, I can ignore the Bastard, which is not the worst idea ever. And I can always silence it a little bit later if it gets out of hand. Currently, I don't have a straight-up way to kill it, so I've played that, and that gets me a Yeti-grade minion. And I'll play another one of those. There we go. We're gonna... I actually should not have played that. It's this is one of those weird situations where you don't actually play a 1-1 because you give him the ability to get a 5-6 very, very quickly. So I should not have done that. I would have rather him traded for something that did a bit more damage. That was a little bit silly. But I am building up almost lethal damage here, so that's something to consider. Mark of Nature going on. It's going to get a taunt on it, isn't it? Okay, so we'll definitely spell break it then. Absolutely. So he's going to kill that off, which buffs it up. Okay. Don't have lethal yet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Claw coming out as well, so that's going to go down. Alright. Well, that's all my lethal potential gone. I think I was close to it with the Consecration, but... Okay, another Consecration comes out. Which is, again, not too helpful here, although we might have to burn it and then throw a card at that to kill it off. But even then, that won't kill it, so... We may have to spell break that bastard. Yeah, I think so. I hate the idea of doing it because we are against the Druid, but... My own bloody fault, I ignored it and let this happen. So there we go. Spell break that. Kills off the taunt, takes it back down to a 2-7. So it's not going to do too much anymore. Can still do a bit of damage. But we can now safely ignore it and go for the face. Keep putting the pressure on. So, he's dead next turn unless he does something. Yeah, that can still work. Just keep beating on him. Defender of Argus could be a bit of a game changer here. Defender of Argus and a Consecration. Ooh, Starfall coming out. That's going to wipe most of my board. Admittedly, most of my board sucked, so that's something to consider. And that's that gone. Alright. Still do not have lethal. I have close to lethal. I can get him down to 2. But that's about it. Okay. Shattered Sun. Sounds worthwhile. Yeah, we'll go with that. There we go. We are coming up on turn 8, so this is about to suck. Still can't kill him. Defender of Argus, probably the best way I can go here. Hit him as hard as I can. Do I have the minions on the field to kill him? Because if he plays an Ironbark Protector or an Ancient of War with Taunt here, I'm boned. If he doesn't play that, I've got him. Actually, I might still have him, depending on whether or not he armors up. If he doesn't armor up, double Consecration will kill him. So, yeah, he's in a bad spot. I kind of allowed that Gurubashi Berserker to run rampant and wasted my silence on it when I really wanted to hold it for something like an Ironbark. But at the end of the day, if he had an Ironbark, he'd probably be playing it right now. And if he doesn't, well, he's dead. I think he might be dead anyway. I've just got too much power on the board. Well, there's that. And he armored up, which is even more irritating. But I think he's still dead anyway. Yeah, he's toast. Alright. Easy peasy. Yeah. That's fine. We can just sack all our creatures. It's not relevant at this point. There we go. And there's the GG. Smack. Ah, another Shattered Sun Cleric doing its duty as always. Such a good card. That went okay. I'm not too pleased with my handling of that Gurubashi Berserker there. That could have got a lot more unpleasant, but holding on to the silence was probably the right move, and then just going for the face, because I did so much damage to him. It's like, oh, well, your Gurubashi Berserker's starting to get rolling, but you're already almost dead, so it was kind of relying on that big taunt, and then the silence came out, and then I went past him, did a bunch more damage. He plays his big taunt after that, but that's, you know, he's dead by that point, so whatever works. Alright, Warlock. I love having Consecrates against a Warlock, that's for sure. Usually very good against the little dinky minions. Okay. Neither of these particularly helpful, and I'm going first again. Okay, that's not really the hand I was looking for. But it's to be expected, my mana curve is... Oh, god damn it. It's full of 4s, that's all it is, so... I could take major damage in the first 3 turns. Thankfully... Well, I say thankfully, I would actually quite like him to have that. Yeah, it would have actually been nice if he'd started playing his Flame Imps, but maybe he pulls them later, and then they get consecrated, so I suppose that's not too bad. I don't know why I'd be praying for a Flame Imp on turn 1 anyway. That seems a tad ridiculous. What's coming out? Coin Shadowbolt. not the best use of a coin in Shadow Bolt, in my opinion. Admittedly, it is an enraged creature, so that's kind of scary, I guess, but... I don't like that. It's not the worst thing ever, though. No. There is the possibility of that guy getting ridiculously out of hand, so I don't blame him. Alright. Do we burn one of our Consecrates here? No, it's kind of a ridiculous use of a Consecrate. To kill one creature. We're probably better off not burning the Consecrate. Saving it for next turn. Alternatively, next turn we can just go Stormpike Commando and kill it with that. Because that does not deflect battle cries. Only spells and hero powers. Yeah. Oh, the Yeti's out. Okay. Nasty. Very nasty. So now we play the Deal with the Yeti game, which is a difficult game. At best. We'll probably just have to Hammer of Wrath and then put 2 minions into it. They're crappy minions anyway, they're hero power, so... The other alternative is Consecration, but that doesn't actually kill the Yeti, so that doesn't really help us in any way. So, I think, yep, Hammer of Wrath into draw a card, which means a more powerful Twilight Drake played next turn, into trade my 2 Initiates for the Yeti. And yet again, we see why the Yeti is such a good play on turn 4. Because there's nothing that really deals with it all that well. Outside of, say, a Fireball. Loot Hoarder. Aha! Perfect. Excellent. This is a Consecrate for the ages coming out right here. We'll take a little damage, but we have a Guardian of Kings, so we don't care. Consecration! Goodbye. 3-for-1 trade on the Consecrate, which is pretty much more than you can possibly hope for. He does get a card out of it with the Loot Hoarder, but I'm totally okay with that. So, we've lowered his minion count significantly. That's a Dread Infernal. Oh dear. Well, that's not very good, is it? Guardian of Kings does not trade for it, annoyingly enough. Well, we can't kill that. Not this turn, anyway. We can play an Emperor Cobra, however, which is a threat to it. I should have played the Twilight Drake first. Not sure why I did that. I think if I play the Twilight Drake now, it actually dies. Yeah, that was dumb. Stupid thing to do. I could put Defender of Argus on the Emperor Cobra. Yeah, let's do that. And the hope is that he just doesn't have another Shadow Bolt at this point. Because that will shut down the Infernal nicely. Oh, a Spellbreaker. Never mind. Bad news. Very bad news. Alright, well, I've got a bunch of Hammers of Wrath, which is lovely. But it doesn't deal with that 6/6. Unless I play both Hammers of Wrath to do it. And none of these 2/3s trade well with this either. This sucks. But I do have 2 Guardians of Kings, so I can afford to take a bit of damage. But this thing needs to die. What's the best way to do it? Not Consecrate, that's for sure. That won't help. At all. I think we're just going to have double Hammer of Wrath, the sodding thing. At least we got 2 cards out of it. There we go. We can actually get a better trade now with a Defender of Argus instead of another Hammer of Wrath. So this will allow us to not clear the board, but get it pretty close. So that... Which do we kill? A 4-3 or the 3-3? Well, one way or the other, we certainly kill that. And we absolutely... Yeah, it's too much of a risk leaving that thing alive. There we go. That even leaves our Taunt alive as well, so that's pretty good. Whereas if I'd gone for that, I would have been trade and left the guy alive, which would have sucked. So that was the right call. Alright, well, threat minimized for the time being, and 2 Guardians of Kings in the hand, so I can definitely get my health back to where it needs to be. Get off there! Look at that nonsense, jeez. Alright. So Earthring Farseer floating in the middle of the board for no reason. So, options. Stormpike Commando, maybe. Consecrate. Consecrate's okay. It's not incredible, but it's okay. Twilight Drake, pretty good. Twilight Drake Consecrate, probably. It's a 4/7, so that's pretty resistant. Drop the Consecrate. Again, we have plenty spares, so that's not really a big deal. That kills that off, and then we trade the 2/3 for the 5/2. There we go. I could have redemptioned that, but it's pretty worthless in my opinion. Okay, so Again, not the most efficient trades, but I have enough of those spells in the deck to mean that it doesn't matter as much. And I do have a 4-7 on the board now, which is nice. So that's going to trade up well. Flame Imp coming out. Definitely could use another Consecrate right now. Oh, Christ. He just burned everything. Okay, right. Time to bring the Guardians of Kings out then. Yeesh. Am I dead next turn? Pretty close. So what can I do? Guardian of Kings will give me 6 health back. Takes me up to 15. He's got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on the board. I can kill one of his higher value minions. Might be best to put Redemption on the Twilight Drake as well. Yeah, okay. Guardians of Kings. There we go. That takes me up to 15. I need to kill at least a minion. We could Argent Protector. Yeah. That seems fine. Argent Protector on the 4-7. Don't really want to use Redemption here because he'll most likely kill this off. Get rid of his strongest creature. I could hit that. But that doesn't... If he's got anything that does damage to me next turn, I die. Was that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? He'll get me down to 1. But if he has anything that does damage, like a Soulfire or anything like that, or any kind of buffing creature, I die. So I can't afford to run at that. I'm going to have to kill that off. Such is life. Okay. So he doesn't have lethal anymore. Although he does if he pulls a Soulfire, which I think is what he's looking for. If he pulls a Soulfire, I'm dead. Twilight Drake. That's fine. Not a problem. It's a 4-2. Not really a big deal. This is pretty close, though. I do have another Guardian of Kings, but it does limit my options on a turn-by-turn basis. I might be able to slow him down enough, though, with it. Yeah, I think we're going to have to do another Guardian of Kings. I can snipe that. I can't kill that, though. Yeah, we're just going to have to whittle him down. Okay, another Guardian of Kings. So now we trade for his highest damage stuff. So we trade Argent Protector for that. We could Redemption it, but I don't see the point. I'd rather kill that off first. 5-6 into the... Can't quite kill that. We can use that on that. There we go. And take the 5-6 onto the 3-1. Then Redemption. Don't really want to play an Initiate because it might trigger Redemption. Alright. I can kill that next turn and gain back control of the board, assuming I can survive this turn. That's the hope. Oh. Well, at least I get one of my creatures back. Shame I got the 4-1 instead of the Guardian. Does he kill me? No, he doesn't, but he's pretty close. I have to kill everything he's got this turn, which I don't think I can do. 5-6, so Hammer of Wrath would take it down to 3, which would, of course, make it die. I do also have Stormpike Commando. I think I'm dead, though. Do I have enough damage to kill him outright? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No, I don't. I think I'm dead. No, I'm not quite dead. I'm pretty close, though. Alright, so we trade the 5-3 for the 4-5. And then we run that into that, and we play Stormpike Commando. Okay. Is that the best way, or is it Consecrate? They're both... I think it's the best way is to Consecrate, actually. Consecrate. This dies regardless of where it goes, so it doesn't really matter. So we still do the same trades. Actually, no, we can we keep anything alive? Yes, if we Hammer of Wrath. Okay. Alright. Okay. So we Hammer of Wrath instead of doing the trades, because at this point I want that board control. So that all dies. Then I play the Bloodfen Raptor. I have a Taunt and a Stormpike Commando. So, as long as he can't play a charge or anything that does direct damage, I'm okay. And I can actually win from that position. He's dead next turn unless he plays something like a Soulfire or a Hellfire or a charge like that. Nice top deck, GG. Bollocks. Almost had him, but he pulled the exact card he needed on the life tap, so hey, it happens. If I'd done more damage to him earlier, then that wouldn't have been a problem. That was my own fault. Alright, let's try again. Hunter. Not amazing in arenas. Tend to be a little bit too combo reliant. Alright, we don't really need the redemption early, that can go. So we'll keep the Direwolf and the Light's Justice. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, generally speaking, you go Light's Justice turn 1, Armani Berserker turn 2, Direwolf Alpha turn 3. Because the Direwolf Alpha has a greater chance of survival on turn 3 to actually do something, which would give Armani Berserker an extra attack. Playing Direwolf Alpha on turn 2, it's vulnerable to a couple of things like Mad Bomber. Anything that does 2 damage, Arcane Shot would take it out, so... yeah, that's the order of doing it, I think. But it depends what I get on the opening card. At least I have a card to play, which is cool if he plays anything like, say, a Timberwolf, which he very well might. Or maybe he'll play something like a Boar, which is silly, but in a Hunter deck, it's not unheard of. So a Light's Justice whaps that quite easily. Alright, let's see what we can open with. Alright, that's a Defender of Argus for turn 4, so we have all our turns planned out. We'll open with a hit, because again, we don't really need 4 hits of a Light's Justice to kill minions. That's unlikely to be useful. So let's see what he comes up with. Probably just coin into a stronger minion. If he doesn't, then obviously he just gets whapped, so... Worgen Infiltrator. Alright, that's okay. So we definitely don't play the Direwolf Alpha from here. We can still play the Armani Berserker. Still alright with that.
It's time for a little blood.
And we'll just whap him again with that. Because that, the 2-1 does not trade up for the 2-3, so that's fine. So he can go for me, and then I just whack him with the hammer. If he goes for that, then he risks Enrage, unless he has a way of getting rid of it. And if he does, that's actually fine. If he uses something like an Arcane Shot, he's not going to. Okay. So I assume he's just going to go right for me with that. Or leave it stealthed. It's also a possibility. Leaving it stealthed would actually be a really good play here, because that means my Direwolf Alpha trades for it, which is not what you want. So is he gonna... yeah, he's gonna unveil himself. Okay, great. Sounds good. So that's the best case scenario for me, because I'm just gonna hit it with the hammer, and then I'm gonna go for the face. Here, though, I actually have a Shattered Sun Cleric as possibly a better option. So instead of playing the Direwolf, we're gonna go with that instead. We could Enrage from this position, but it would leave it very vulnerable to an Arcane Shot, also Multi-Shot. So I don't want to risk that. I'm gonna leave it like that. That's okay. Then I got Defender of Argus. We can go for some serious buffing, or Direwolf Alpha. Both of them work. We can put some real pressure on turn 4. So that's okay. What have you got? Let us find out. The hope is he doesn't have anything, in which case I can really unleash on him. And I think I do it with Direwolf Alpha. Defender of Argus is something I'd rather save for a later date. I'm not taunt heavy in this deck, so Direwolf Alpha and a little minion sounds better. He might draw a multi-shot next turn, which could be a problem. But even if I Defender of Argus that doesn't have... oh, he may actually coin multi-shot. Or, well, he's not going to coin multi-shot, because that doesn't kill everything. Mogashan Warden. Alright. Perfect. I am very surprised he played that, because it's extremely silly. The reason it's extremely silly... oh, there's a Blessing of Kings as well. The reason it's extremely silly is this is going to be bait for something. It could be bait for a multi-shot on turn 4, so I'm going to screw with the mathematics a little bit on it by then using Defender of Argus, I would think. Multi-shot's a risk. Could go Blessing of Kings. Very vulnerable to silence if I do that, though. Yeah, we're going to mess with it by going Defender of Argus. Which is going to push that up to 4, and it's also going to allow me to kill this. There we go.
For justice.
So, I mean, multi-shot will still do something. It could still kill 2 minions, but it's not going to kill my Enrage. At which point I can actually throw a Blessing of Kings on it next turn and go to town if I want. Scavenging Hyena, so no multi-shot. Okay. Unleash the Hounds. That's rather annoying. That's a really, really nice combo that you don't always get in Arena, so he is going to kill off that, which is going to give him a really, really powerful minion. Which I can't Frost Elemental yet, which is even worse. Pretty good card. Unleash the Hounds used to be pretty terrible, now it's excellent. Okay, well you can't do that, I'm afraid. You're going to have to run it right into that, which you should do, because that's going to give you an even more buffed up creature, but then I'm just more likely to trade my big minion for that. He's going to leave it lying around. Okay. Alright, well that just gave me an opportunity to kill that off without losing my scary minion. So I'm going to go Stormpike Commando. There we go. And then run that into that. And then hit him in the face for 7. There we go. Might as well get the best value out of that Enrage that I can. And it's an Enrage with Taunt and a 4-2 behind it, so he is not dead next turn, but he's close to it. Actually, is he dead next turn? I think he is. With Direwolf Alpha and Blessing of Kings, I think he dies next turn. So he might want to step it up a little bit. If he can get rid of the 4-2, there you go, Arcane Shot. That's fine. Okay, he's not dead. Yet. I'm hesitant about becoming overly reliant on that Enraged creature, mostly because it would be hugely vulnerable to silence if I threw anything else down on it. Okay, we do have Frost Elemental. Not massively useful in the current situation, but it is a scary minion. Damage, how much can we do? We can do 11, 12 this turn, which is pretty good. But again, Blessing of Kings, do I really want to use it on that 7-4? Probably not. Especially not on its own. Vulnerable to Deadly Shot, vulnerable to Silence. So I think we just play that Frost Elemental. Not the best play here. You might want to save that for a scarier minion later on, but at this point, it makes the most sense. Anything else is just too risky. If I buff it up, it's going to get... He will Deadly Shot it, or pull something else out of his hat. He might pull the Black Knight out, for God's sake. Who the hell knows? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. He's dead next turn unless he does something major. And I have Blessing of Kings and Direwolf, so he's probably going to die anyway, but... Argent Commander. Alright, so he gets rid of my scary creature. Which sounds amazing in theory. It's like, you're totally back in this game. Not at all. He's dead next turn. And I don't think he's going to be able to... No, he can't do a damn thing. He's toast. Blessing of Kings, Direwolf Alpha, and 1 Dead Hunter. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. That's Direwolf Alpha, and the Blessing of Kings, and the GG. Well, everything went the way that it was supposed to. Even that Hyena combo didn't get him too far. Very nice, very nice. This deck's a chilled out deck. It's a very relaxed Paladin deck. It's very easy to be relaxed when you have 3 Hammers of Wrath and 4 Consecrations. It's like, nothing can really hurt me. And if it does hurt me, I've got 2 Guardians of Kings. So, I've got a bit more health than you might expect. Alright. Let's see what we get. Another Druid. Okay. Once again, beware of turn 8. Let's see if we can kill him before that. Not with that hand, we won't. So we'll hold on to the Twilight Drake. And we'll obviously can the 2 Guardians of Kings. And that's a bit better. Alright. Unfortunately, the Twilight Drake's not going to be incredible, because I'm going to be actually playing minions out of my hand. So that is less than ideal. I mean, for the most part, you want the Twilight Drake to be a 4-5, and then it's just a Yeti, which is fine value. At least I've got a Guardian of Kings in my hand that I will not be using. The alternative is you hold on to the cards, and really I just don't agree with that, for the most part. It sounds incredible until you realize, no, that's actually incredibly dumb. Oh, the second Guardian of Kings is coming back. It's like, you're gonna have this regardless, bro. Play the Bloodfin Raptor, trade straight up for that. no point in playing anything else, really. Yeah, some people like to hold on to their cards, like, for several turns and then play Twilight Drake. And yeah, it's scary, but as soon as someone breaks a silence out, then that Twilight Drake is absolutely useless to you. There we go. It's just a little bit too risky, I feel. It can be quite cool on a Warlock, because you can get so many cards in your hand, and then when you play your Twilight Drake, particularly if you go second and have the coin, so that gives you a turn 3 Twilight Drake that's more powerful than it should be. That is kind of worthwhile. Aside from that, not so much. Alright, I think we're just straight up Hammer of Wrath this thing. Mostly because otherwise we're going to lose the Armani Berserker to it. The Twilight Drake... It's just not good right now, but if I play the Hammer of Wrath, it'll be better next turn. So let's just Wrath that thing. That gets us a card, which makes our Twilight Drake a bit beefier. And then we just go for the face with the Armani Berserker. Okay. Cool. So we might Twilight Drake next turn, but if we don't, we can go Shattered Sun Cleric on the Armani Berserker, which is not too terrible either. So that might work. Dragonling Mechanic. Okay. Alright then. We'll pull the Light's Justice, which is just wonderful. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with the plan. Twilight Drake. It's a 4/6, so that's good value. And the Light's Justice comes out, which we're then going to use to smack that in the face. And we are going to ignore that for the time being. Because otherwise I'm going to end up taking myself down to 1 health, and then there's just too many ways that a druid can remove that without too much loss to himself. I'd rather just make it, because you kind of got to play around enraged creatures. You can't just, well, you can just leave them on the board, and in fact you should. But the more that you play, the more opportunities you give to the opponent to actually set the enrage up. So that becomes a problem. Alright, Consecration is actually not awful here. In fact, it would do the job, as weird as it sounds. It's actually quite effective. So we're going to go with Consecration, I think. The other alternative is we go with Defender of Argus, which would have kind of similar effects. But I think we'll Consecrate, because we have a lot of those, so might as well make use of it. So then that means we get this, and we also can do this. There we go. Gives us that 5/1 enrage. I did just set him up for a giant swipe, and I hope he doesn't have one, because that was dumb. He's gonna swipe me, isn't he? No, Starfall. Okay, well, that's not as dangerous as a swipe and costs more mana. So I guess I'll take that, because that still leaves my 4/1 on the field. Do I want a Guardian of Kings now or later? I think I want to do it now, because otherwise it just... I'd rather have these cards later so that I'm not so limited in the amount of plays I can make in one turn. And I've taken the damage to justify Guardian of Kings. So let's get that on the field. There we go. And I'll take one more swing at him with it. There we go. Just put a bit of pressure on. Okay, turn 8 is coming, and I don't have a silence, so I need to establish board control quickly and make sure that I have answers to whatever he plays. And I have a Cleric and a Defender of Argus for that. Ancient of Law, alright. He drew 2 cards off that. Okay, that's a 5/5. I can trade my 5/6 for it and still stay alive, which is okay. And I can keep my 4/1 alive too. Is there anything better that I can do? I think we just play minions at this point, really. So we use the 5/6 on the 5/5, so that's that gone. We go for the face with the 4/1. And then maybe we play Razorfen Hunter and Shattered Sun Cleric. Yeah. These are both 1 health, though. I'm a bit worried about that. If he Starfalls again, then Defender of Argus won't help me. If he doesn't Starfall... I wonder what else he would have. AoE-wise. Probably just Swipe. Alright. Yeah, we'll go Razorfen Hunter. We'll just get a bunch of stuff on the board. Shattered Sun Cleric on that. Takes it up so it's outside of his hero powers range. There we go. Okay, and he's dead next turn unless he does something. So, Starfall or a Swipe would serve him well here. He has another Starfall. Well, bollocks. That's almost my entire board gone. One of the most efficient Starfalls of all time. That sucked. I wonder if there's a way that I could have done that which wasn't vulnerable to Starfall.
You shall not pass.
Shield Bearer. Usually a bad card, but in this case quite useful. Alright. Well, that's a little annoying, but never mind. Stormpike Commando, shoot that down. There we go. And probably Defender of Argus, yeah. Again, take him kind of out of range where he can use his hero power effectively. Re-establish board control quickly. But as weird as it sounds, I think I might be dead. Because now he's going to play stuff like that, and I don't really have a good way of dealing with it. Noble Sacrifice, okay. We'll have to pull a Redemption out here, trade creatures out. Because otherwise I'm going to get stomped on. Noble Sacrifice sounds great in theory, until you realize that it gets triggered by the hero power. So it's not as good as it first seems. Okay, so we get rid of that first. And we go Redemption to bring that back. There we go. So that's back on the board. Very nice. And then we use the Race Fan Hunter to kill that off. And then Guardian of Kings. Which kind of wastes 4 of the mana, but I'll take what I can. I'm actually going to Noble Sacrifice here. And I'm going to do that to protect my 4-1, which is invariably going to go after next turn. So that should work. Twilight Drake. I'm now kind of relying on my top deck and surviving 2 turns. Because I can't kill him this turn. Raid Leader comes out. Ugh. That's nasty. I need my silence now. Hammer of Wrath is not a silence. At all. But it is a card. So that might work anyway. Let's eliminate the Raid Leader with that. So that's gonna... Ooh, Ogre Magi. Not, again, not that helpful, but... I don't really have that many choices at this stage. Do I go for him? I mean, I can kill that thing, but I'm gonna have to trade 2 creatures for it. And I think... I'm gonna ignore it. Depending on what he does with that Noble Sacrifice, I might be able to set up a better play. Oh, dear. Well, it's probably best that I ignored it. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it is definitely best that I ignored it. If I had sacrificed a bunch of creatures and then he just played that, then that would have left me with insufficient damage on the board to be able to come back. But oh, he's got so many taunts, though. A Blessing of Kings is very helpful here, don't get me wrong. I can kill his Ironbark Protector. I'm going to have to spend a lot of cards to do it, but I can do it. What's the best use of it? Okay, we need to kill both of these. They both have taunts, so that's got the highest damage, so that needs to die first. Blessing of Kings on that seems like the best idea. At which point, we'd then have to throw 3 minions at the Twilight Drake, which absolutely sucks. We could wait another turn, though. We do need to kill the Ironbark off, though. There's no question about that. So, Ironbark is gonna have to die. So that's dead. That still leaves us with a 5-9. Do I want to trade the rest of the stuff that I have to get rid of that 5-9? Is it worth it? I think so. I should have played a Reinforce. So I have Lethal. Another Taunt. Jesus, this deck is annoying. Oh, you can't be serious! Well, that's terrible. Well, I can Earthen Ring Farseer here, but it doesn't actually help me in any way. Because that's dead regardless of whether or not it gets an Earthen Ring Farseer. I can kill one of the bears, and that's about it. I should probably play Earthen Ring Farseer anyway. Get the card on the board. What choice do I have? I've run out of steam. Simple as that. He threw up, what, 5 really good taunts in a row, so there was that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna lose now. I've got a decent amount of health to kind of weather the storm a little bit, but it doesn't matter because I'm now in a horrible situation where I just can't get the results that I need.
Reporting for duty.
Can't break through his taunt without sacrificing 3 creatures to do it, which still leaves a 3-1 and a 4-7 on the field. And there's no way I'm killing him. Not with this deck. There's not enough power in it. Do I want to trade 3 minions for that bear? I really don't, but I think, is there anything else in this deck that would help? Probably not. Get rid of the bear. Just get rid of the damn bear. I've lost this game, I think. I don't see a way of winning it now. Oh, this game devolved into misery as it was just taunt after taunt after bloody taunt. Well, that's my entire board gone. And now we're relying on top decks. He doesn't have... Well, he's got 7 damage a turn, which is more than enough. Defender of Argus, not going to help. At all, really. But we'll play what we've got. Doesn't really matter, he's just going to run the 4-7 into that. So that keeps me alive a little longer, but... I'm dead anyway. Oh, and a Moonfire. He drafted a Moonfire. He drafted a Moonfire. A Moonfire. I have, like, a deep, burning personal hatred for this person right now. This doesn't really help. Who drafts a Moonfire? That was just like smashing my head against a brick wall. I'm definitely dead now, I think. Absolutely. That game was horribly depressing. Jeez. Now I'm just gonna very slowly die. Yeah, Frost Elemental. I don't know, he's still top decking. I might get back into it somehow, but that keeps me alive a little longer, but it's unlikely. Oh, a Sea Giant. Yes. I'm definitely dead now. This guy just seems to have the perfect answers every time. Yeah. Come on, make your mind up. And a Consecration, which does not save me. GG.
Victory.
Oh, that was terrible! God. That was a horrible, horrible game. That made me hate druids more than I do already. Ugh. It's like that game dragged on for so long, I have no idea where I went wrong with it. Because he got to turn 8, I had no silence. He pulled ridiculous creature after ridiculous creature on turn 8. I was forced to trade inefficiently, and I eventually just bled out of cards. Could I have played that any better? If I'd waited a little longer and not just played the minions I got off the top of the deck, maybe, but I don't know. Great, another druid. Wonderful. And the 2 Guardians of Kings in the opening hand again, which is just taking the piss. So let's toss those. Thank you very much. Not amazing. Not terrible, but not amazing. Coin Direwolf Alpha into turn 2 Argent Protector is probably the best course of action here. Or do we even have to coin? He played nothing on turn 1. Turn 3 Consecrate can be pretty good. So it's more likely to kill stuff. But no, we're gonna Direwolf Alpha. Let's get the early board control. It's like I can play a minion, I should play a minion. It's not a bad minion either. And with Argent Protector, it becomes an even better minion. So that's not too shabby. I can make that happen. So the hope is now he plays something that has 2 health, which he did. Great. So that's a fantastic position. So I can do Argent Protector now. Nice little bit of synergy between the two. There's the buff. keeps an otherwise weak creature alive and allows it to trade it quite nicely, and also gives that weak creature a minion that it can buff up, so that works pretty well. I have no turn 3 plays at all, because I have far too many 4-cost cards in this deck. So it's going to be Initiate, I think. Shapeshift coming out. Is it going to work on the Direwolf Alpha? Probably. Yeah, that's a sensible thing to do. He wants that dead, and he's right to think so. I have no way of protecting it, so I just have to do as much damage as I can this turn with it, and then I'll lose it. So we deal 5, and then he'll take another 2 from that wolf, but whatever. It is what it is. That's fine. He did the right thing. Going for the face wouldn't have been the right thing there. Oh! Well, he gets the good trade with the swipe there, so 3 for 1. Twilight Drake or Ogre Magi. In this case, I think Ogre Magi, because we have both Consecrate and Hammer of Wrath in the hand, so this is a better play. Consecrate on this turn that does 3 damage AoE is quite nice, but he's not going to play too many small minions, I don't think. If he plays a big minion... Oh, he's burning a swipe on a 4/4. That is surprising. Okay, so he's burned 2 swipes. That's good for me. So it means he's unlikely to have too many more of that. And I get a 4/6 on turn 5, which is not bad. And I have Tauren Warrior and Defender of Argus available. Oh, he has a silence. That's nice. Oh, that's terrible. Lovely. Well, so much for that idea. It was a good play until he pulled that. But I'm still ahead, so it's not too bad. Tauren Warrior might be the way to go. I could use a Hammer of Wrath here, but then it means I don't play a minion. But he does have that silence in his hand, and I should remember that. Doesn't matter, though, because Tauren Warrior still trades for that anyway, so if he wants to burn the silence on that, so be it. Let's give him the bait for that, and I'm not going to play the Kobold. Actually, should I play Kobold? He could silence the Kobold, but it is just a Kobold. I'd rather him silence that than something more important, like something with kings, for instance, so let's see if we can make him do that. If he wants to run the 3-2 into my crappy 2-3 that I didn't want anyway, then he's more than welcome to. Guardian of Kings is available next turn. Again, not great because I haven't taken that much damage, but I should play it because I don't think I've got anything better. It depends. He may decide to get a couple of minions up, in which case I'll just consecrate them. Savage Roar. That was a bit of a surprise. What is he doing? Okay. Alright. I guess. It works. Well, we've got Consecrate. Might as well use it. We have lots of them. Yeah. 2 for 1. I'm okay with that. It's either that or run the Kobold right into it, and it's like, what's the point? I might as well attack with it. Why sacrifice it when I don't need to? I'm not entirely sure about that Savage Roar. No. Ah, there's the Ironbark. Okay. So now we have the problem of dealing with that. And that is a problem. Because I don't have a way of dealing with it. These druids. It's what, 3 druids today, maybe? So Hammer of Wrath takes it down to 5. Still can't kill it. Yeah, I can. With Defender of Argus. Hang on, does that kill it? Yes. Yeah, it does. I can't let him have it. Not a great trade, but it's for crappy silenced minion and a hero power, so I'll take that. And I can play Guardian of Kings next turn to get back up to almost full, so that's... I guess that's okay. He's gonna play another one, isn't he? Nope, Sylvan Knight. Okay. Consecration is probably the way to go here. And then trade the 2-3 for the 4-4. No, he's Mark of the Wildman, so that's not gonna work. Well, I'd hope that that would be the way to go, but now it isn't. Blessing of Kings. Is Blessing of Kings the way to go? Probably not on that. We could just go up with the Guardian, I guess. Yeah, that'll take us back up to 30. Let's do that. And I don't really want to give him a Bloodfen Raptor for free, so... I'll do that. So he'll probably take out my 2-3 and then go for the face with the other.
is my shield.
No, he doesn't have to now, because he's got a Sunwalker. Now I definitely need that silence. I got my Consecrate, which will do decent damage, but I'll at least take the shield off him, but no, he's just gonna go for me. Yeah, that's probably the right way to go. Spellbreaker! Hey, hey! I've missed you. I have missed you a lot. Okay, so Spellbreaker, usually on a taunt, is maybe not what you want to do, but on a Sunwalker, that's a different matter entirely. So, what can we do now? We can not wipe his board, but get it pretty damn close. We could go Blessing of Kings or Consecration here. So what does Consecration do? Think about it for a second. It's going to do 2 damage to everything. It's not really enough to make anything happen. Blessing of Kings could result in me knocking out 2 creatures and staying alive through it, which I quite like the idea of. We could drop Blessing of Kings on this Defender of Argus. Let's do that. Weaken him a little bit, and we might be able to follow up with Consecration instead. Okay, so that's 6-7. Everything does the same amount of damage, so it doesn't matter either way. I'm going to kill that, and I'm going to kill that because it's slightly stronger than the other one. And I think we're going to play the Armani Berserker.
It's time for a little blood.
Is it worth weakening this thing in any way? Probably not. Alright, that's okay. And I know he burned his 2 swipes earlier, but this is Arena, he could have 5 of them. So that's a bit better. It was either or Consecrate, and I would have actually lost more minions if I'd done Consecrate, and not really benefited from it too much. It does, of course, mean that 6-3 is vulnerable to a bunch of other stuff, but yeah, like that. There's the Spellbreaker coming out, but at least it came out on that. Could have come out on something worse. Still not a great board for me, but not terrible. Has he got more buffs up his sleeve? I hope not, because I'm out of silencers. Alright. That's actually okay. That isn't. So I have my Consecrate, so that knocks out 2 of those minions, but it does still leave a 6-7, which is not helpful. So we'll start with the Consecrate. There we go. Take out 2 minions. We need to kill the Yeti. How are we going to do that? We have to trade 2 creatures for it, basically. But we can wipe the board. Can I avoid trading 2 creatures? Yes, I can, actually. With Defender of Argus. So I think that's the way to go.
My shield for Argus.
Alright, so that's a 5-4. That then kills that. And now we can run the 2-2 token minion into that. There we go. Play the Bloodfen Raptor, and then hit him in the face. Which leaves us soundly ahead, and open to a bunch of AoEs, but he doesn't actually have the AoEs he needs to clear this. Starfall won't do enough damage. Okay, yeah, he's burned out. We've taken pretty much everything from him, so he's now relying on top decks. We are too, but we have a better board, so it's fine. It's not really a problem. The only issue we've got is if he top decks something really powerful next turn. Do I have lethal? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, but I've got close to it. I'm going to throw that to get another card, because I might pull another. Redemption, not really what I want here. Yeah, we're just going to get rid of that. And then go for his face. And now we need to hope that he doesn't pull out an Ironbark Protector. Though even if he does, I can at least kill it, so it's not the worst thing that could ever happen. Pint-sized Summoner is not going to help him. He is dead. GG. That took a bit of work, I got to admit. Druids do take a lot of work. If you don't kill him before turn 8, then just be prepared to be in there for the long haul. And just because he's a druid, I'm going to finish it with Light's Justice. I'm learning to hate druids more than I hate priests and mages. It's good. It's nice to have a little bit of variety with your ire. Well, 5-2. Not awful, but could have been a lot better. We'll see if I can take it any further next time.